Okay, so welcome back from the break. You're still watching Morning Rush on Metro Television. My name is Desifani the Star. We're here with Nanaya Tonobuachi. It's time for us to talk. And this morning we have a beautiful woman. She's Kate Asso Tawiah, the director of Asso Tawiah Foundation. And we're talking about neurological development challenges. Don't worry about the name here. She'll break it down for you. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Desmond. Thank
How
you
you
for
doing?
having me. Great.
Get ready for Christmas?
Yes, I am ready actually.
5 days more.
5 days more.
You get Christmas money?
I'm ready.
Good to have you. Now let's begin with the breaking down of the topic, neurological development challenges. So we'll take the neurological development. What's that really?
Okay, so when we talk about neurological development, we're talking about the development of the brain. A lot of things happen as a child develops in their mother's womb. So the parts develop, and then there's a development of their brain. And then during that time, sometimes things develop differently from what we call normal. So these bring up different challenges that we see in a society. We have things like autism, Down syndrome, dyslexia, cerebral palsy, learning disabilities, and there's so many of them. But then we've come to study a few, and we know about a few, and so we deal with that, but it's quite a broad range. Okay,
so you've mentioned the cerebral palsy, the autism and all of those things. And those things happen at birth?
They happen before birth.
Before birth?
Yes.
Okay.
But then again, for some of them, there are times that it happens during the birthing time. I am not a doctor, and I'm not an expert in the scientifics.
Okay.
But sometimes it happens during the birthing process when there's a delay or something happens. Like yes. And then some of them also come about as a form of there's something we call bilirubin.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes there's a deposit, and then that happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens.
So for your foundation, that is what you're focusing on?
Okay, so our foundation is focused on the humanitarian side for these people.
Okay.
And then we focus more on education and awareness. Yes, humanitarian side, because these challenges are quite dear. And then most of the time, these people who suffer these conditions need 24 hours of attention. And a parent may have to stay home and take care of this child, because we don't have too many facilities in Ghana where we can take them. We don't have too many schools that accept these people. And so a parent or a family member would have to stay home and then take care of the child. And most of the time in our society, unfortunately, one parent leaves the house. So we have a lot of single parents. And then imagine where we have a single parent who has a child like this. For autism, for instance, they get quite hyperactive. And so you're not able to leave this child for a second because they may hurt themselves or they may cause problems, and whatever kind of problem. And so these parents are able to take this child to school. There's no support and has to be home taking care of this child. So if a parent has left the house, then it's a single parent who can't go to work. How do you feed your family? How do you pay your utility bills? How do you take care of your medications and all the help and the support that this special needs? So we term them special needs because they do need special attention. Yes, but things are changing, language is changing, and there's been some sensitivity in places, so the language is changing a little bit.
Before Nanaya comes in, for your foundation, what is your assessment of the neurological development, disease or the challenges in Ghana? What's the assessment? Do we have a lot more? Is there data, to back it up?
I've seen some data, but they don't seem too accurate. However, even worldwide, the thing is that we don't have collective data. People do research for various reasons. So someone may research dyslexia, Down syndrome. So we don't have collective data. But one study suggests that there are about 115 million people worldwide who have intellectual disability. So there are quite a lot of people. The situation in Ghana is quite serious because we don't have that many facilities. And again, because of our cultural beliefs and where we've come from, where we are right now, there's a lot of stigma and this is not a very discussed topic in our circles. And so people who have children with these conditions tend to hide them. And so getting data on them, don't go to hospitals and all that. So getting data is quite difficult, but we do have a lot of them. Once you get into the circles, you come to know how serious the situation is.
Yeah, I was when Desi mentioned the statistics, I was coming to ask if people are willing to come out to share, but you just mentioned, because most often they just tend to hide. They don't really go out to, I mean, when there is a situation, they don't really go out for people to see what is happening. But then how does Asso Tawiah Foundation come into play to help or assist with these challenges?
Okay, so what we're doing, as I mentioned, we are driving awareness in education. And we're trying to get families especially to come out. Because, look, so we have the neurotypicals, which is you and I, and then we have the neurodiverse. We call them neurodiverse because they react differently to the world around them. But even you and I are different. You are in blue, I'm in green. I'm in light green and you're in light blue. So we're different in our ways and the way we think and all that. These other sects of people are also different in the way they think, the way they behave. So why do you accept me and not accept the other person? Why does my mother, who has 3 children, think that because I am neurotypical, because I look or behave normally, she should accept me and not accept my brother who has a challenge? So we're starting right from families, driving families to accept their children, because when these children get support at a young age, they're able to develop some skills. They're able to, let me say, fit into society. I'm being very careful about the words. Fit in because we want them to fit in. Why are we not fitting into their world? And we want them to fit into our world. But they're able to fit in. They're able to get into society, to develop whatever potentials they have. Again, a lot of people, some of them may need lifelong support. That I'm not disputing. But even in that, we can make life easier for them by accepting them, by loving them. So if I'm a mother, if you're a mother and you have a child like that, embrace them and love them just as you love the other, and find that thing in your child that you can grow and develop to get your child to a place where they can be whatever sufficient, they can attain whatever sufficiency that they can in life. Because we're all human beings, we have the same need to be loved, to be accepted. I need that, you need that. That person who has that challenge
also needs that.
Sometimes we think that because of their challenge, because of the way they react to stimuli and the environment around them, we think they can't think. We think that they can't reason, but they do. It's just that expressing it may be difficult for them. Yes, and then they may express it differently. But they experience all the emotions and everything that we do experience. Yes. So fighting them and pushing them and calling them names, Jimmy and all that, it affects them just as it affects the ordinary person.
And how is the awareness going? Are you moving from hospital to hospitals or going to communities to help assist them?
So we have our community awareness program. And I'm glad you asked that. We've planned a street walk coming up in February. And we're doing this to drive conversations so that it sparks a conversation. Who are these people? What are they about? And then we push from there. Our social media handles, our website is just talking about these things that, look, we are different. We behave differently. Life happens to us differently. And then life happens to this person differently in the womb or during their birthing process. Somebody is born and they have asthma, they have a hole in heart, they have whatever other challenge. We accept them because we think, well, he has a condition and he's just, but then we don't accept these people who behave differently from us. We have to accept all of them and embrace them. It would interest you to know that we sat in class with people like this and we didn't even know. It would interest you to know there are teachers who have children with learning disabilities and challenges in their classroom and they don't even No, because we've not been trained. The teachers have not been trained to identify these.
Now, it's going to come to society because you'd have these kids grow up, or I mean, through their development, school, there's church.
Yeah.
They would have to try and bond with friends. How all of these things, and I mean, the ordinary Ghanaian does not understand these things. So, for parents to speak to, how are they dealing with these things? How are they trying to make sure that their kids who have these conditions are able to, socialize as any normal kid is supposed to?
Okay, so again, it depends on what happens at home. Okay, if for some of autism, for instance, has social conditions, they don't they don't socialize easily, and so a person with autism has communication issues and social issues. But then if they can bond in their family, within the family, it's easier for them to relate outside the home. And society has to come to that place again to realize that I don't have to think like you, behave like you to be accepted. Okay, so it's difficult for parents bringing that. These are some of the reasons why parents don't bring their children out, because they'll be finger pointing, because they'll be murmuring, because people would talk. Some people actually even say that you're not training your child well. They accuse parents because they don't understand what they're dealing with.
The culture bit comes in.
The culture bit comes in. And so it still boils down to us creating awareness. Today I'm here on Metro TV. Today you have heard about it. Nanaya has heard about it. Our viewers have heard about it. And so we're hoping that people would change their perception to life and change the way they relate to people who behave differently when they see them. And hopefully this would help parents also and the families to bring their children out, because then the stigma and then the murmurings and then the accusations and all that, would reduce. Hopefully.
Well, I mean, we've all heard it this morning. We just need to be very supportive and help out. So the program you have for your foundation is in February.
In February.
Yes, in February. We have our work with, so we're running a campaign that's Embrace Difference.
Okay.
So Embrace Difference is where we're telling society to embrace the different people, the different, all of different people that we have in society. And so our work is Embrace Difference. So we are pushing, we're driving this campaign.
And that's in February?
In February 25th.
25th.
On the 25th of February. Okay.
But
well,
if anyone wants to reach out, you mentioned your social media handle, email, if anybody wants to reach out, support.
So we are Asso Tawiah Foundation on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and then we have our website, ATFGH. ATFGH, yes, that's our website. And you can reach out by email on ann@atfgh.org. Ann is spelled AAN. That's active about neurodiversity, because we're being active in this space.
How many any phone number?
0243 656857. That's my number. You can reach me. You can reach us on that number.
Kindly repeat it again.
0243 656857.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kate,
Thank
for
you.
coming, and we wish you a Merry Christmas and a beautiful year.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So that was Kate Asso Tawiah. She is the director of Asso Tawiah Foundation, working, helping out and creating the awareness when it comes to neurological development challenges. And this is where we wrap up the show for today. Many thanks for joining us from 5:30 a.m. right until now. I want to say big shouts to Juliet Ekwafrimpong, watching from Spain. Text big shouts to you. My name is Desmond Okrekunas. You can call me Desifading the Star Boy, and I was here with.
And I had to know watch it.